Hey girls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a fall themed dip powder nail set using products from Double Dip Nails. So from their new release, dip powder colors, I did pick these 4 glitter dip powder colors. These can be used as acrylic or dip powder. I am going to be using them as dip powder. I did go ahead and swatch out these dip powder colors so I could plan out this manicure before I filmed. So here are the swatches for these 4 dip powder colors. I wasn't quite able to pick up some of the bigger sequins with the layer of dip powder, so I just applied them over the top of the nail swatch. For some reason, some of the colors did kind of turn foggy, so here's the back of the swatches so you're able to see the correct colors of these swatches. For the manicure today, I'm going to be using the color SP10. This is called Bloomer. This was probably my favorite color from the 4 that I picked, so I'm going to be using this one for this video. I do already have my practice hand prepped and ready for the dip powder application. I am just going to go ahead and glue on my nail tips. For the nail tips, I am actually gluing them on using the dip base. I personally wouldn't recommend to do this if you want your nails to last the longest amount of time possible, but personally sometimes I do use the dip base to adhere the nail tips. After all of the nail tips are glued into place, I am going to take my nail tip cutters and go ahead and cut down the length of the nail tips. To apply the dip powder, I am going to be using the dip base, which is number 2. This is a nail resin to adhere the dip powder to the nail. And of course, the dip powder color SP10. For the first nail, I am doing a solid glitter nail. So for this one, I'm just applying a full layer of dip base to the entire nail. I personally don't like to do more than 2 layers of glitter dip powder just because it can make the nail look quite bulky. After applying the dip base, I am going to turn my practice hand upside down and go ahead and dip into the dip powder. When you're dipping in chunky glitter dip powders like this, you do want to make sure to dip the nail this way, otherwise you're not going to pick up those bigger chunks of glitter. After dipping the nail, I'm just going to very gently tap on the nail to make sure that the glitter is laying flat on the nail. This step is super important when you're working with bigger chunks of glitter. After that layer of dip powder is fully dry, I am taking the mermaid tail fluffy nail brush and I'm going to dust away all of the excess powder. This step is important to prevent getting glitter in your dip base. I am shaking the jar of dip powder just to make sure that those bigger chunks of glitter are on the surface of the dip powder. This will allow me to pick up those chunks when I dip the nail. I am just repeating the same step for the second layer of dip powder. The reason that I do not do more than 2 layers of chunky glitter dip powders is because it can make the nail very bulky. Keep in mind with these types of dip powders, you do have to make sure to encapsulate them very well before you shape and file. Otherwise, you will file off the glitter when you go to file and shape the nail. Because I'm only doing 2 layers, this is the layer that I want to perfect, so if there's any glitter that I don't like where it's placed, I do try to remove it with some tweezers. If you don't have enough glitter on the nail like you want, you can apply a small drop of dip base and place the glitter with some tweezers. This is what I'm going to be doing to make sure I have the glitter placement exactly how I like. For the rest of the nails, I am going to be using this light pink glitter dip powder color. This is 612 and it's called Fingers Crossed. This is a really pale pink and it has a very fine glitter. I thought this color was really pretty and it would bring out the lighter shades in the glitter mix dip powder. So this is the one I'm going to be using for the other 3 nails. I am just applying the dip base to about half of the nail bed area and all the way down to the tip. I'm going to go ahead and dip into the powder. I'm going to repeat that same process to the other 2 nails. I do want to go ahead and apologize because I'm not going to be doing the thumb in this video. If I were to do the thumb, I would probably do it exactly how I do the index nail. For the rest of the nails, I am going to be using this light pink glitter dip powder color. This is 612 and it's called Fingers Crossed. This is a really pale pink and it has a very fine glitter. I thought this color was really pretty and it would bring out the lighter shades in the glitter mix dip powder. So this is the one I'm going to be using for the other 3 nails. I am just applying the dip base to about half of the nail bed area and all the way down to the tip. I'm going to repeat that same process to the other 2 nails. I do want to go ahead and apologize because I'm not going to be doing the thumb in this video. If I were to do the thumb, I would probably do it exactly how I do the index nail. After that layer of dip powder is fully dry, I am going to take the mermaid tail fluffy nail brush again and go ahead and remove all of the excess powder from those 3 nails. For the second layer of dip powder on those 3 nails, I'm going to be applying a layer of dip base to the entire nail and dip into the dip powder. If you guys are interested in any of the products that I'm using or showing in this video, everything will be linked down below. You can also use my discount code KCNAILS20 to save a little bit of money from the Double Dip Nails website. After I dust away all of the excess powder, I'm going to repeat the same process for the third and final layer of dip powder. How many layers that you need to do just depends on how thick you want your nails. It also depends on how long your nails are. If they are very short, you don't need more than 2 or 3 layers of dip powder. But if you do have very long nails, you may need to do more like 5 or 6 layers. Because these nails are quite short, I am only doing 3 layers of dip powder. After removing the dust from the third layer of dip powder, I am going to be applying another layer of dip base to the middle fingernail. I am applying this to the entire nail. I'm going to be doing a glitter ombre, so I'm taking my cuticle pusher and I'm just scooping up the dip powder color. I am just pouring the glitter mix over the bottom half of the nail. I will be honest, I'm not quite sure why I did this with a cuticle pusher. I feel like it may be easier to use a fluffy brush, but I did end up using a cuticle pusher. I did dust away the excess powder from that layer and I applied a little bit more of the dip base to personally place the bigger chunks of glitter. I noticed that I didn't get any of the big chunks when I poured over the dip powder with the cuticle pusher, which is why I did decide to place them with some tweezers. After removing the dust from the glitter ombre, I am taking the activator, which is step number 3. This step is going to harden the layers of dip powder and allow you to shape and file the nails. I am just going ahead and applying this to all of the nails. Once the activator is dry, I am taking this hand file and I'm going to go ahead and reshape the edges of the nails. I am going to go ahead and fully reshape the ring and pinky nail as well, but for these chunky glitter dip powder nails, I am not going to be filing over the surface yet. For the ring fingernail and the pinky, I did go ahead and file the surface of the nail as well. When you do this, you do want to make sure to file the nail as smooth as possible to have the most professional looking manicure. I do have my dabbing dish filled with some rubbing alcohol because I am going to be using the Double Dip Nails Clear Polygel. I'm going to be using this to encapsulate the chunky glitter dip powder. I am just going ahead and applying a small bead of the clear polygel onto the nail. Taking the polygel brush that is included in the polygel kits, I'm going to dip it into the rubbing alcohol and go ahead and start smoothing out the polygel to encapsulate the glitter. One thing about doing the polygel encapsulation is you do not want to make this layer too thick because we're only encapsulating the glitter. You don't want to be adding a ton of thickness to the nail unless you're also planning to add the same thickness to the other nails as well. Personally, I just find encapsulating with clear dip powder very time consuming because I do have to do more than one layer of clear dip powder. So this is typically a lot quicker for me, which is why I do usually encapsulate my chunky glitters with polygel. If you haven't tried it yet, I would definitely recommend that you do. Of course, I am going to be encapsulating the index nail as well. After I've applied the polygel to those two nails, I did go ahead and do a 60-second cure under the nail lamp. After those nails are fully cured, I am taking a lint-free wipe with some rubbing alcohol And I'm going to go ahead and remove the sticky layer from the polygel. I am going to go ahead and start reshaping the middle and index nail. Again, because I didn't encapsulate the first time, I did not file the surface, which is the main focus for this step of the manicure. After shaping and filing, I am going to be applying some rhinestones. I'm going to be using the 4-in-1 base coat gel. This is from the Mini Luxe Gel Tip Kit. I really like this gel. It is very thick and it does hold the rhinestones on very well, especially compared to applying them into top coats. So I just applied a thin layer to the entire ring fingernail. I know we're doing a fall set, but I have this really pretty butterfly that matches the color of the glitter dip powder that I used for the index nail. So I am going to be using this butterfly nail charm. I also have this box of nail decorations. I did get this in one of the mystery boxes from Double Dip. I'm going to be using these really pretty pink chunks. I'm not really sure exactly what these are, but I just applied a few chunks above and below the butterfly. I'm also going to be using these dark purple rhinestones. As you guys may have assumed, I am just doing a cluster of rhinestones and nail charms. I personally love including this type of rhinestone placement in my manicures. I feel like it makes the nails look so cute. I am also going to be using some rose gold caviar beads. I am just applying these with a wax pencil. And I'm also going to be using 2 very small silver rhinestones. I believe this is from the 12-piece Shapes and Rhinestone set from Double Dip Nails. Once I have everything placed, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I have it in the correct position. Because this is gel, I do have as long as I need to get the placement exactly how I want. Once I like the placement, I am going to go ahead and do a full cure under the LED nail lamp. Next, I do have these fall themed nail stickers, and I'm going to take this one that says Hello Autumn. I'm just taking some tweezers and applying this to the tip of the pinky. I am taking the top coat gel, which is included in the polygel kits. I really love using these top coat gels. They have a really good consistency, they are non-wipe, and they give the nails a really pretty shine. You guys know I use these top coats for about every single nail set. Into the uncured top coat, I am taking these really small pink rhinestones. These are included in the polygel kits, and I'm just applying 2 towards the cuticle of the pinky. I am going ahead and applying the top coat to the middle fingernail as well. And again, I'm going to apply 2 rhinestones at the cuticle. Of course, I am going to apply the top coat to the index nail. Off camera, I did also apply the top coat around the rhinestones on the ring fingernail. After applying the top coat, I did go ahead and do a full cure under the nail lamp. And here are the nails. Let me know what you guys think of this nail set down below in the comments. Do make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!